your birthday, man. The day you came into this truth and realized that you are not an African American, you're not a nigga, you're not a black person, you are a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right?
That's right.
And that's the same tribe that King David came from. That's the same tribe that Jesus Christ came from, right? So Jesus Christ's blood runs in your veins, man. You feel me?
That's right. What's your precept?
This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
The truth shall make you free, right? When you know your true nationality, when you know that the white man is the goddamn devil and your enemy,
That's
right?
right.
It's gonna make you free. You're gonna know that, man. So that's the reason why there's pork in everything, right? You eat pork, but you know that that's a sin, right? That's a real sin. Yeah, get that in Leviticus. Let me ask you this. You get your hair lined up, you know that that's a sin as well? You're not supposed to get our hair lined up. You're supposed to.
Leviticis 11. This is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you.
Right, so it's telling us right here, this is the book of Leviticus. This is the law. This is just, a part of the Torah. I don't know if you ever heard of the Torah before, because, the Jewish...
Have you ever heard about the Torah in church?
You heard of the Torah? All right.
So have they ever told you you're not supposed to eat pork in church?
They never told you that?
They just told you you can pray it over in the name of Jesus. It was okay, right? That's a damn lie, man.
That's right. The Bible just told us that the pork is unclean, no matter what you do to it, right? Read verse 8.
Verse 8, of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch.
You're not even supposed to touch pigs. That's right. It's a sin to even touch it. So it's a sin to touch the dead body of a pig. So that's bacon, right? That's sausages. That's not turkey. It's anything that's made pork chops. Right? That's anything that's made with pork. You're not supposed to even touch it according to the Levitical law, right?
Next time, if your mama or somebody that like pork chops is going around or something, get one and like sprinkle some some Coca-Cola on it and leave it out and see don't a bunch of mountains come out.
Because you know what? A pig doesn't sweat. That's why when you eat it, it's all tender and juicy. That's why when you eat it, it's all tender and juicy, right? Because a pig don't sweat. Everything that it eat, everything that it do, it absorbs right inside of it. I was watching this video on Facebook, right? Where this pig was literally eating a dead man. Literally, like they was going in on this dead man like he was a steak. Like they was just going in on him. They eat anything they come across. Anything, that's what they eat, bro.
So remember that, you know what I'm saying? When your mama give you a pork chop or something, you can't eat that. You need to tell her she don't eat it.
That's right.
Yeah, man, watch out for chicken.
Hey, hold on. Wait, do you celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas? Hold on. We don't get to that.
You moving fast, kid.
Give me Eleazar real quick, man.
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
All right, hold on. So it's talking about a man named Eleazar, right? You are never going to hear about this. You're going to hear about a lot of people in the Bible, but you're not going to hear about this man because they took this book out of the Bible. They took this out. They took it out. Why? The white man is the goddamn devil, man. That's right. They took this out. This is a crucial part of history. A man named Eleazar, right? An aged man. They were trying to force this man to eat pork. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 19. But he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own according to the torment.
Look, they tried to force this man to eat pork to the point where they literally shoved it in his mouth, right? He wasn't trying to swallow it, he spat it out. Keep reading.
Verse 20. As it behoves them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted.
Right? So just because you love life right? You're gonna do whatever you want to do to live, right? And saying, well, that's that's how some people think. You shouldn't think like that. Just because you want to live, don't mean
Verse 21. But they that had the charge of the wicked feast for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. Verse 23. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come in his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by God. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave.
Okay, so he was considering, he was thinking, he was like, if I eat this pork, right? If I eat this pork, that what are the little kids gonna think about me, right? He thought about the gray hair on his head. He thought about how long he was able to live on this earth, right? He was thinking, God, I should set an example, right? Because if I eat this pork, the next generation, they gonna be like, okay, hey, I can eat the pork too.
Eleazar did it.
Right? This, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So keep reading.
Verse 24. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, were now gone to a strange religion.
80 years old. I believe what that is. 80 or 90 years old? 90 years old. Right? So if he ate the pork at 90 years old, just to live another, 10 years, right? They're going to think, oh man, I'm 20 years old. I want to be like Eleazar. Let me eat this pork too.
Right.
But keep reading.
Now you this is verse 25. Verse 25. And so they through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to mine old age and make it abominable. Verse 31. And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage.
Hey, little brother, listen to what,
Verse 31. And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage.
So he died. They killed him because he wasn't going to eat that pork, right? That's right.
So he don't want to eat it. So what they basically saying was he didn't want to eat the pork, so he just died.
No, they tried to force him to eat the pork because according to the law, statutes, and commandments, pork is an abomination. It's unclean. We're not supposed to eat it at all, right? So I'm showing you little brothers, right, that our forefathers, our ancestors, literally used to die because they chose death rather than eat pork.
Right.
Right?
That's the severity.
You know what I'm saying? That's how serious it can get.
Right.
That's how serious it is. Like they're like people rather die for it. I know I'd rather die for it.
That's right.
The Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Gorilla Hebrew, and I'm just letting y'all know I just dropped my official clothing line, Urban Gorilla. Go to urbangorilla.com right now to check us out, man, and pick something up. There's urbngrla.com. We got all kind of items for men, women, children, even infants, as well as fragrance oil, smell goods. You can also check out Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co., another Sakari business, on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can hit up deaconsakari.com to get your plug on the scarves, the music, and the children's Bibles. Thanks for your time. All praise to the Most High. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.